Hello, you were on the punchline with James Dominguez today. Kelly Pavlik is he's out there getting his last setting, guys. He'll be in here in a second.
He thinks he's so fucking special.
He thinks he's special and don't want to show up on time for the show.
Who?
You, show's on.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
What time is it?
7:02, 7:01.
Your ass is itchy.
Is the show on?
Show's on. You're live.
I told
Hi,
you.
guys.
You were tardy for the party.
Yes.
My bad. And I really thought, you know what it is? My clock up there is off.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was
really
gonna come
is.
get you, but then we both be late.
It said 6:58.
Yep. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Ricky Pavlik's here. That's always something good.
Ricky, right?
Ricky Pavlik. He said he's gonna rape me when I walked in. Did you see that? He told me that immediately.
All right. I'm getting there myself.
I am.
guys.
We're getting all of our stuff set up, guys. I don't even know how the show's coming on. I
What
know,
an ugly cut that was for
but I can't get the video, the YouTube video to go. See, I don't see it.
oh hell.
So let me see, guys. Hold on a minute. We're getting there. Yeah. I was just going to my Wi-Fi. Maybe it was that reason. I don't know. But there it is. All right, guys. We got it. So we have some big news. We have some fights that haven't been released yet that we have some inside information on. Everybody knows that Kovalev and Canelo has been signed.
Yeah.
It's done November 2nd in Vegas. No. Is it Kovalev?
Yeah,
Vegas.
Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, that's not it. That's last week's episode.
I think the one you're talking about is the one that's going to be in Dallas.
Or LA. Which one? Beval?
I thought Mikey.
Mikey's LA. Staples Center, I think.
Okay, I thought they were going to be in Dallas.
No,
Oh, Pittsburgh. Yeah, dude. I haven't seen you on there.
they're saying that they can't see the show on here on Facebook at all. I don't see it either, though, to be honest with you.
He's saying, been too long since I caught you gents alive. I hope you're both
Yeah, I don't see it either on my page, like on Facebook.
I didn't even connect to Facebook.
Is it on there?
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, it's not on Facebook at all.
Well, we'll get back at you, man.
It's haven't connected.
Because I don't see it.
Goodfella says, what are your favorite meals? I like ribs, brisket, any barbecue, and spaghetti and a meatball.
I like chicken, hamburgers.
Santillo, I think we got a new person. Santillo Media says,
I think it kicked on now. I don't know.
yes.
It's what? It's coming on now?
It should be coming. It's
Okay.
telling us it's syncing with it now.
He says, yes, Vegas, but not T-Mobile.
Well, I didn't think T-Mobile was going to carry that anyway. I think there was some issues with Canelo last time in T-Mobile. I don't know what happened there, but I wasn't sure.
Some there's been some issues with him.
Yeah, I can see people come in and watch it on Facebook.
Fat Lady says, no way can Canelo take Kovalev's power.
You know what? I have some information on that, and it makes
Kovalev KOs cruiserweights who
No.
cut down to 175.
no, we don't.
Canelo is a bloated light heavyweight.
Okay.
What's up, Damon?
All right. Well, I was gonna bring that up. We talked to somebody that, we talked to one of Kovalev's strength and conditioning coaches. I'm not gonna say his name, but one of the strength and conditioning coaches, and he made a good point. He said, and he said, I can say it. He said that he believes that Canelo can take Kovalev's punches. Let me tell you why. He said that Triple G hits harder than Kovalev. He said he's seen them both spar. He's seen them both train. He's worked with both of them, and he's worked with both. And he said that Triple G hits harder than Kovalev. He said, and this is what C said. He said that if Canelo could take Triple G shots, he sure he could take Kovalev shots as well. And he said that Kovalev has a weak body. The same thing everybody's been saying. And that Kovalev is susceptible to some body shots.
Okay, and I love Cecilio. I love all the guys.
Yeah.
Has he sparred Triple G and Kovalev?
I'm sure he's worked body and held mitts for these guys. He knows how hard they hit.
I'm telling you, it's a difference.
Yeah, but you got sparring partners saying the same thing. Their sparring partners are saying...
Two-weight class difference.
I know, but their sparring partners are saying the same thing, that Triple G hits harder.
Either or, I understand, but I'm just going off of the fact that, listen.
I'm not arguing it. I'm just saying what they're saying,
Canelo could absolutely win the fight. I mean, shit happens all the time. I'm just saying, I just think it's a crazy fight, and even if you see a weakness, that's one thing, but 160 to 175 in your first fight
Yeah.
at light heavyweight and 2 weight class jump is the world of difference.
I mean, you have a guy like Vostik who sparred both guys, right? Vostik has sparred Triple G, and he's sparred Kovalev, and he's saying Triple G hits harder. So, I mean, he would know.
That's cool.
He would know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we'll see come fight night. I mean, there's a lot of things. Not only the power. I'm talking about the moving
strength.
and bouncing and banging off of a light heavyweight.
I agree. I'm
Better for the show too when you guys don't have the same prediction because then somebody gets to talk shit on somebody.
They do. Yeah, it's
My
true.
prediction, I mean, like, I don't know what I'm going to go on that fight yet. I'm still favoring Kovalev, and I'm probably going to stick with Kovalev. I just have a hard. Canelo's a great fighter, but at that weight class and when you start getting up in weight like that,
Yeah.
from 160 to 175,
Yeah.
and it being a smaller middleweight as it is different. I mean, it's a really different game. I'm not being mean. I don't care who caught pads and this.
Well,
and that.
I know, but I go by who is sparring too.
Yeah,
I'm saying who
that's-
hits harder.
That's fine.
You know who, with your sparring partners, you knew who hit harder than who.
It all depends. If I knew who was stronger than who too, though,
Yeah, but you know.
and the punches come different.
They were just saying, he was just saying. I asked him. I said, "Who? How do you see it?" And he just told the truth. He's like, "Look." He said, "I've worked with Triple G and I've worked with Kovalev," and he said Kovalev hits harder, or Triple G hits harder. He said, and if Canelo took those shots Triple G landed, he should not have the same issues with.
And I'm
Kovalev as well.
not really getting into it. Also, like, I know these guys see that they work with the guys. They're in camp with them. They know how much they lift. They know how many push-ups they do. They know how many sit-ups, how many miles. But I'm saying fight night, when you're in that square circle and the lights are on and you're going from 160 to 175 against a guy like Kovalev. And here's my other thing on that too, why I looked into it.
Yeah.
The big thing that people are going to say is Kovalev gets tired later rounds. And for most people that say that,
So
they
does
are
Canelo.
right.
So does Canelo.
Exactly. So, and for the most part, they're right. Kovalev fades in later rounds. But so does Canelo. And I think that Canelo may even fade quicker when you're pushing around a 195-pound body.
Yeah. Louis
That night of
says,
fight.
Buddy McGirt is going to make sure Kovalev's jab stays in Canelo's face and chest all night. And that's fine, Luis, but you got to remember, Canelo's bread and butter is slipping the jab. Canelo, if you throw jabs at him, he will slip that jab all night. And you're going to need to come up with something better than a jab to stop him, especially a guy, Kovalev, who's a little slower than a lot of the other middleweights. He is slower.
He's going to be slower.
He's going to be slower.
And then you got to factor in if Kovalev can keep his natural head movement and speed, that does play into his favor. But if he puts on the weight to try to equal out
Canelo
the weight,
or Kovalev?
Canelo.
Okay.
But if Canelo tries to put the weight on and try to equal, make it a little fairer,
Yeah.
he may lose a little bit of speed
think
too.
so.
But we'll see. I don't know.
I agree with you. I think he should stay where he's at. I think he should
might.
stay at 160 and take his chances because he's going to need every advantage he can
Or like
get.
168-ish, his natural weight.
I watched a lot of Kovalev the other night, and I watched a lot of Canelo. I broke a lot of that down. Here's why I changed my pick. And I just saw, I said, Canelo is just brutal to the body. And I think he's unlike any fighter Kovalev's ever fought. He goes the body better than anybody he's ever fought before, including Ward. Canelo's a better body puncher than Ward. I don't know if he's a sharper puncher than Ward, but he focuses his attack on the body and goes upstairs. Body upstairs. Very, very old school. And I think that's why I'm gonna change my pick to Canelo. I don't think he's gonna knock Kovalev out. I think he's gonna outbox him. I don't know. Maybe 8-4, 9-3.
It's a fight that I really hate picking.
Yeah.
Because anything can happen in that fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but I think for the most part, I'm going to stick with my gut feeling on that one. And Damon says, guys, the Spence stop Sean in 8. It doesn't go the distance.
I would say it goes the distance. What do you think?
I think if there's going to be a stoppage, it's going to be late rounds, like late. Like
Bleeding.
10,
I think it's going to be
11.
bleeding. It won't be like a stop. I think Sean can get cut.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Spence wins that fight, even though I like Sean a lot.
Ricardo says, what do you think of the Tyson Fury fight? You think the ref should have stopped the fight because of the cut? Well, Ricardo, I'm going to get into that. It probably would have been stopped in the other fight, but there's a lot of money going on for that rematch with Wilder. Mm-hmm. Fury probably could have had his eyeball hanging out the socket, and because it was ruled a punch, they would let it go. But with that being said, I see a lot of people talking shit on the sites. Yep. And he's the great white hype, and he's overrated. And I asked a question that nobody could answer.
Yeah.
I said, well, what's that make Wilder? It's again another one of those situations where everybody jumps on and he looked like shit. He won the fight.
Yep.
I mean, hands down, he won the fight. He had a nasty ass cut.
Yep.
That's pretty good to go through a fight not being able to see.
Sure.
But again, everybody gets in these fucking sights. And
Well, speaking of that, this is it. Did I hear somebody say that Canelo's a better boxer than Ward? Did I say that? Did I say Canelo's a better boxer than Ward? I said he was a better body puncher than Ward, not a better boxer. Ward's probably the best top 5 greatest boxers in the history of the game. I think so. No, I didn't say he was a better boxer. I said he's a better body puncher. Canelo is. And anybody I mean, even that's arguable, but I think Canelo was a better body puncher.
did you say Canelo's faster than Manny Pacquiao?
Did you say Canelo has a better shoulder roll than Floyd Mayweather?
Damon says, fellas, does Terrence Crawford have the same ring IQ and ring intelligence as Andre Ward? Are they comparable?
Kovalev is 6'2", Oliver, not 6 foot.
Absolutely, Damon. I definitely think they are.
The thing is, he's saying Kovalev is 6 foot tall, Canelo is short. You know that's a huge for average fighters, but these guys are so high level that makes very little difference as their height. Let's face it. I mean, Canelo can get inside on Kovalev. That's what these guys do, especially a guy like Canelo who has a great defense. He has a great defense. Yeah. He works on the inside of your body well. It's not that far of the game where he's going to get hit like that. He's going to move inside and outside your elbows.
Santiago Media says, is there any evidence to say Canelo's knees are giving him problems? He had surgery after the PED scandal.
Other than those straps that he's in and elbow, knee I say yes.
I mean, listen, everybody knows by now, elbows, knees, hands. Once you see wraps on them, you could pretty much guarantee that they're going to constantly have issues with their knees and their hands, their arms. I mean, unfortunately to say it, yeah, he has it.
Yeah. Here's one for Benjamin Kelly. Who do you guys feel is wrong with the beef between Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy? Is Ryan trying to move too fast, or is the Golden Boy holding him back? I have no idea. I couldn't even answer that.
Say Ryan's moving too fast.
Kelly thinks Ryan's moving too fast. And you know what the thing is? I think Ryan wants more than he's ready for. I don't think, personally, I don't think Ryan is at the same level as his peers. I said that last week too, right? You have guys like Shakur, you have guys like Virgil Ortiz, you have guys like Collins, some of these other guys that are at this level now, Teofimo Lopez, and then you have guys like Ryan, who hasn't moved as quick.
Well, here's the thing. Come on. It's kind of common sense. You got Oscar De La Hoya, who's been there, done that, and had probably one of the greatest careers and was marketed and everything else. Yeah. And now he's got his hands around you. Shut the hell up and let him do his work. Yep. He's going to make you buku money and get you the title shots. And once he makes the money, he makes you money, he makes money, then he'll let you go and fight who you want to. Shut up, man, and let him do his thing.
Well, Luis says Sean Nam, a great writer.
Who else would you want to have?
Right? Other than Top Rank.
Yeah.
Sean Nam said, a great writer said that Kathy, no comment about the rehydration limit, which makes me believe there is one. I don't know. Should there be one? I don't know. Kovalev walks around about 220. But do I think there should be a rehydration limit? It depends on, 220, 225, 230. I think if you sign the fight, it shouldn't matter what he rehydrates to. He makes the weight. If he makes 175, and if he wants to weigh 250 the next day, guess what? He made 175.
Yeah, I got two good ones here. Yeah. First, Uncle Sham says, Kelly, I know you have experience with a back cut like that. How long do you think it will take to heal? Do you think Fury will be ready by February for Wilder? Ooh. I don't know. That's a hell of a question. I mean, everybody heals different. It depends on how he takes care of it. Who he goes to take care of it.
Plastic surgeon.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's different. I think February is a quick little turnaround for it, but he's always going to have problems with that eye from now on.
That's always going to be an issue.
Fat Lazy Feralcast says, Ghost, Hopkins was a small 170-pounder, but did you feel his strength in the clinch? Was he stronger? I didn't think he was small.
He's not fucking small.
He was the same size, same height as Tarver might have been a half inch taller.
What was Hopkins, 6'2"?
Yeah, right under 6'2".
But your height, right?
Same height, same exact height.
But he was a hell of a lot wider than you were.
Yeah.
He looked like a fucking battleship.
So with that being, he goes, did you feel his strength in the clinch? Was he stronger than Jermaine? They both were strong in different ways. I'm going to explain to that. I think overall Jermaine might have been a little stronger. But when you go to 175 and you're fighting at that, in which Hopkins was campaigning at 175 for a handful of fights before I even fought him there, and he fought at 168 for a while. His body was more of a natural light heavyweight than Jermaine. So in the clinches, obviously, especially fighting 2 weight classes above, he felt stronger in the clinch. He did. I mean, if Jermaine went up to light heavyweight and fought 4 fights there, and I fought Jermaine at 175, maybe Jermaine might have been stronger. You know, these guys that get used to that weight, they kind of settle in at that weight, and that's what makes a difference. That's why I always say, give a guy a fight or two at a new weight class and see what happens, you know.
Esteban has a question, good question for you, Kelly. Did you guys see the article that examined Roy Jones Jr.? That was the one, I posted that article in your tool bag. Did you see the article that examined Roy Jones' prime athletic measurement, speed, power? Do you guys think prime Roy Jones may have been the best athletic boxer of all time?
It's close with him and Loma. I mean, you got to put Lomachenko in there with him.
I would still go with Roy.
The shit that Loma does in training.
I know.
But yeah, I got to put Roy up there with all of them. The guy went and played a 4-quarter basketball game before a world title fight.
Yeah.
When everybody else is laying on their couch in a hotel room, like relaxing and not getting up.
Manny does that too, does he?
Not the same day though.
Oh, okay.
You know,
I remember he did like that celebrity game.
He did it the day of his fight,
yeah.
And then went into the ring to fight. Fought 12 rounds, I believe.
Yeah, he was that one dude from Indianapolis, right?
Yeah, so you're very rarely going to find a guy like Roy Jones.
Yeah, that guy was amazing. Pascal said Fury reminds me of Ali in a way. His boxing is sharp. He reminds me of nothing of Ali.
Who?
Fury.
Oh.
He said he reminds me of Ali. Yeah, I said I don't know about that. You need to put some soap in your mouth, Pascal. Fury reminds me of Fury. Fury is a whole different type of fighter than even Ali.
Do I think he would give a fit to any heavyweight of any era? Absolutely.
But do I think he's Ali? No. I don't know, man. But hey, there's been some secret fights they're talking about now, some good ones. Benavidez gets past this one, which should be no trouble at all. He gets past Andre Durrell. They're talking about Bivol making the fight with Bivol and Benavidez finally in February. So we got that coming.
That should be a main event by all means.
It's going to be on the other fight that we're talking about in a minute. It's going to be on the undercard of that fight. And which fight is that? Manny Pacquiao and Mikey Garcia.
Yep.
They're already, as of yesterday, they were like 98, 99% done. I think all they're discussing now is the venue. And I think it's going to be L.A. or Dallas for Mikey and Manny.
The Benavidez
and Bivol is going to be a fucking it'd be a shootout. But who are you taking? I'm going to take Bivol. I have to go with Bivol on this one, man. I don't know. He's a bigger guy.
You know what? And I agree.
Yeah.
Well, he's not a bigger guy.
He fought at a bigger guy.
But but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he fought some absolute monsters at 75, beat them.
Yeah.
But I've been really impressed with
Benavidez too. That's a pick 'em fight. That's a toss in the air. And you know what's sad is, if they have those two fights on the same card, I think that Bivol and Benavidez fight will steal the show over Mikey and Manny.
I mean, that's almost like a waste of a fucking great.
But could you imagine what they'll make on that? Can you imagine what they'll make on that? Having these fights, big fights coming through, and having imagine who else they'll put on there.
I don't know how much you're going to make on that because of the fact that they got to share that purse with Manny and Mikey Garcia. I mean, how much money is really going to be generated there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. I don't know.
You only get so many people in those arenas. I mean, that's
Keon.
2 big fights.
We got that one coming too, Oliver. We're talking about that one. Keon got Mikey. I'm gonna go with Mike too, man. What do you do at Manny and Mike? How do you see that one?
I gotta go with Mikey in this one. You know, first of all, age. Second of all,
we're at the minority in that pick because everybody forgot Mikey can fight.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point on that, and it's true. Manny does struggle with counter punchers. I just see Mikey being a little too much now, especially with the age factor coming in.
I agree with that, but I think a lot of people, since Spence, they forgot Mikey can fight. They really do. Mikey's overrated. Mikey's not good. No, Mikey lost to a big, strong, young guy that can fight.
And I ain't gonna lie, is there a little biasness?
Fuck yeah. But it doesn't take away from the fact. But there might be bias.
But if any one of these idiots, or not idiots, but people that say you're being biased, if any one of their good friends or ex-coaches' brothers fighting in a fight, they're going to have a little bias to it, and they're going to go that way.
Or somebody, or if you held the guy when he was this big, or if you held him when he was that big, right? Yeah. But the thing about, but
we will, on people that don't even know.
But we will say, no, but if you came to me and said right now, Crawford versus Mikey, I would say Crawford. Do you know what I mean? I'd say Crawford. Is that being biased then, or is it being intelligent?
You're right.
Right? If they said, hey, Canelo and Mikey's fighting. Well, I'll probably have to take Canelo in that one. That's just how it works, man.
Damon has a good one here.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get to Damon's. real
Damon
quick.
always has good questions.
Yeah, first I'm going to get the Fat Lazy Cat. He goes, Porter is one of those fighters. Oh, hold on. Let me go in order on this. I hate passing up to you two questions.
Okay.
Michael Donahue got one for you, actually. He says, James, I've always been curious about the military boxing programs.
Yes.
Did you start boxing before you joined the service, or did you join the service and then fall into the boxing?
Oh, no, I've been boxing since I was 8. One of the reasons I joined the Army was for the boxing program. That was one of the caveats they threw at me when I joined, that I could box for them.
Mm-hmm.
I already had almost 100 fights by the time I even joined the military.
Cool. Fat Lazy Feral Cat says, Porter is one of those fighters where when he wins or loses, he always gives his opponents a rough time.
Yes.
Won't be a walk in the park for Spence like most fans think.
I think with that fight, I think he'll see something different. Errol's going to see something different. I think he's going to see a stronger guy than he's used to ever fighting, and I think just that the timing and everything's off on Porter. It's going to be hard for.
He's awkward for anybody.
Yeah, I think it's going to take Errol a few rounds to get used to that, and I think he will, but it's going to take him a little bit because Errol is a smart fighter. He's smart and he adjusts well.
Yeah.
And one thing about Errol, when we saw him in Dallas, I was shocked how big he was. Like when he came to the table and sat down with you to talk,
Yeah.
I was shocked how big he was. Like I said, this is a welterweight.
It's huge. All right, Damon, this is a guy I was going to talk about. I think he's the 118-pounder.
Yeah.
Navarrete.
Yeah.
How about the Navarrete win? Where does the punchline have Navarrete ranked? I think you want to talk about somebody. There's a different power in that kid for that late of a weight
It's
class.
right at the end of his shots.
But everything he hits you with hurts.
Bad intentions.
I see, like, if he could keep doing that, I see him in that weight class and maybe even one above.
Yeah.
Just dominating. I mean, he hurt people.
Do you know who he reminds me of? Diego Corrales.
But heavier handed.
Heavier handed.
For even in these later.
He's lighter,
But
but
he
the
would fight 118.
The body on him and the way he punches, it's everything is at the end of his punches.
Yeah, very good question, Dan.
Very
Good
good
point, Damon. I mean, I wanted to bring him up. Actually, earlier when James was working out, I was going to talk to him about that fight.
Yeah.
That kid, man, I was watching, it's just thudding. And it ain't just the opponent. No matter who he hits like that, he's going to hurt like that.
Yeah. Darren says, I prefer to see Mikey back at 140. Darren, the fight's at 140. Manny and Mike are fighting at 40. They're not fighting at 47. They were talking about a catch at 42 for Manny, but I think they're talking about 40 right now. They're going to 40. It's not going to be 47.
And Damon said, if any fight ends Pac's career, it's Mikey. Mikey's too sharp.
You know, my only concern with Mikey right now is the weight that he's picking up between fights. He picks on a lot of weight between fights. And I think even at his age, now he's what, 30? I think it starts to wear on you about that age where you need the weight doesn't come off as easy. And when it does, you're a little more weak than most. Did you notice the difference when you were 30 and taking the weight off?
Yeah. I was up to the super middleweight at 30.
But you notice like.
I noticed at 29.
Yeah, you notice like at 24 taking the weight off and at like 29 the difference. It was harder.
Dano says, Artem Lobov versus Loma. Who you got?
I would take Loma. There's not too many people I would pick against Loma right now, other than Tank. I don't think see much giving him a big issue right now. Or maybe Devin Haney, somewhere like that. Some of those guys would give him more of a challenge. But right now, I think we're going to get the best out of Loma we're getting right now.
I agree. Uncle Sham says Javante versus Haney. Who you got?
I got Javante.
I think Haney has better jab and defense. Excellent jab. I don't think he was seen enough from. We've seen enough yet from Javante.
It takes more than a jab though to win these fights with these guys because Javante is strong. That is a strong kid that walks around about 165.
That's going to be a good fight there, though.
That's
a test. I'll tell you what, that Haney-Javante fight, if Javante goes in there and takes him out or beats him up, now that also changes my opinion on the Loma fight, too.
George has a good question, Kelly, and maybe you can answer this better than I can. What was Floyd Mayweather's biggest technical fundamental flaw, in y'all's opinion? Technical flaw.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I think using the ropes too much. Every fight that he just about lost
It was on because he stayed on the ropes.
he stayed on the ropes and he got beat up by those type fighters.
You know what I think that it was? I don't think his flaw was anything technical. I think his flaw was sometimes he was lazy. In the ring, he'd get bored. Maybe bored.
Yeah.
Bored and lazy. Sometimes he made fights harder than they had to be. And then it would take the second fight for him to say, oh, shit. Now I'm going to go, because like maybe Castillo, Maidana, there was no reason that those guys should have did that to him, even in the first fight. He was so far ahead of everyone else.
There's no reason why Floyd couldn't have fought Castillo like he fought Corrales.
Yes.
In the middle of the ring. And if that was the case, he beats the shit out of him.
Yes.
Or like how he fought Canelo. You know, he fought Canelo more so in the middle of the ring. That would have been an easy fight for Floyd, but he played around on the ropes. Maidana, I don't know. No matter where you kind of fought Maidana, he was coming in and he's strong and he would have kind of bull rammed you into something. I
think Floyd kind of underestimated Maidana's strength. I don't think he thought he was that strong. Mm-hmm. Maybe he saw Khan drop Maidana with a body shot. Maybe he thought, he's not that strong. But who knows what he was doing with Alex Ariza during that time and how much stronger he was getting with these guys because he got strong.
Uncle Sham, Kelly, you ever had to go through a fight with busted ribs? Just a rib broke in sparring yesterday. No, I haven't. Bless you.
Thank you.
No, I haven't. And then Santillo goes, Kelly, how underrated is Robert Garcia's team?
Ooh.
He's on schedule to have 100 fights, 90 wins. The team has evolved to Robert, Pita, Cheap, and Big G over 30
also
fighters
Pyle.
in the stable.
Don't forget Pyle.
And Pyle, yeah.
Pyle.
I mean, he's tearing it up right now.
There's nothing underrated about them. They're right where they should be.
And if they're underrated, that's coming from people who have a lot of hate. Again, look at his stable, and how can you say, this is where we were going into the other day with another fucking guy that...
he's listening right now. Mr. Scandy.
Yeah.
Scandy Candy.
How can you say that about a guy that has that many fighters in the stable and to say that he ain't the best? No, they're not underrated. They shouldn't be, Santillo.
They're definitely. I think they're right where they should be. You know what I mean? People know how good they are.
Well, let's take Instagram. The king of fight night memes. Who you guys got in the Pro Grace versus Taylor fight?
I got Pro Grace.
And I'm kind of leaning Pro Grace too.
Here was my take on this Pro Grace. And hey guys, I'm not doing cocaine. It's allergies. I'm always checking my nose and shit. Everybody's like, he's on cocaine. No, I got allergies. My nose itching.
No, he's just on steroids.
Steroids. Hey, we're the what was it called? The juice line. The show's the juice line now. We got accused. Me and Kelly got accused of being on steroids, and they called the show the juice line. If they do, I need to fight. I need to kick my dealer's ass.
Okay. Let me get into some of these. Goodfellow Pulp Fiction says, Prime Pretty Boy Floyd versus Ryan Garcia. Who?
Oh, Floyd.
I can't even answer that one.
Floyd would have to put a muzzle on him so he didn't kiss him after he fucked him.
Yeah, I can't. Goodfellow, I love you getting on there and asking questions, man, but I really wasn't going to answer that one.
Yeah, I'll answer it though.
Which app is getting better to watch? Boxing on DAZN or ESPN Plus?
I still like ESPN. DAZN keeps freezing up.
I still like DAZN. I know. Or is he talking about fights that are being put on, or
no? This
quality
of the? I don't know. Either both. You know what I don't like about DAZN? I don't like the commentating. The commentating's terrible on DAZN, man.
I like Sergio more.
I like Sergio, but the rest of them are clueless as shit.
This is true.
Maybe the Juice can be the guest on the show. Have a bottle of Trend. This is our friend. He's a little quiet, but he's big.
You gotta hide that too. It was like,
look at this.
Kelly's got little fifths.
Hey, look at. Shh. They had vodka on the table. It was called Crest Vodka.
They're sipping little shots of.
Somebody said there was a good one here. Oh, it's Jeff Zimmerman. I think he's one of the best writers in the sport. Dallas, Jeff. You know Jeff, man. Even when his guy Ochoa got hurt, he knew to stop. He's one of the best and has been for a while now. I agree, Jeff. And then we got a lot of good writers. Luis, one of the best writers too. I think Haney's speed matches Tanks. His technical skill takes over late in the fight if he can handle Tank's strength. That's the big thing. Can he handle that? DAZN commentary. Well, I agree, Luis. I think you guys would do a lot better on there. Kelly needs a shot on DAZN. I think Kelly has some offers coming up. We can't say, but I think Kelly has something going on already.
We don't know yet, but we just put a nice little package together. My buddy Justin put together.
What do you think of Timothy Bradley as a Steve?
You do have a nice package.
He does. It's big as a fucking horse trunk. Steve said, "What do you think of Timothy Bradley as a commentator?" I like Tim Bradley, but I think he's kind of biased, really bad.
Yeah, I kind of he's good for a little while of it. I mean,
he gets really comfortable. Comfortable. That's a good one. But he gets really in favor of ESPN fighters or the house fighter, and I'm like, some of the shit he says, I'm like, are you serious, dude?
I mean, I really think that Andre Ward is good. The ESPN, I mean, you guys, nobody can talk shit on ESPN commentators, though.
No.
I mean, that's a star-studded crew right there.
Yeah.
They're good.
Luis says, Eddie Hagan, I love Eddie. He's a good dude. He says, I love the European format with fights all day long on DAZN. I don't mind it. My problem is more of the commentating. That's my biggest issue with it.
Kelly versus Logan Paul.
Don't answer that. Logan Paul's
I gotta go with Logan Paul.
Kelly versus Logan Paul. Logan Paul is a fucking YouTube star.
I know. You see him on the DAZN interview?
Somebody asked that last week. George, you asked that last week. Marcos Maidana versus Gotti at 140. Marcos Maidana beat Arturo Gatti.
Yeah. As much as I was a Gotti fan,
and he was your buddy,
I have to say that Maidana wins that one.
Yes. James is not a Pringles can, James. But it's not that's true. It's not a Pringles can. Justin does not have a Pringles can. It's more of a Coca-Cola can. What? Lampley's still under HBO contract.
It's more of a paint roller.
Rocco says the only thing Kelly's on is Elmonton pizza and chicken.
Who said that?
Rocco.
That might be true.
That is DC's true. And Domino's.
Not Elmonton, though. Yeah,
but
Italian Village, Wedgwood.
Getting back to Esteban about Prograis, and here's what my thing is: when Taylor had fought his last fight against the Russian kid, help me out with him. I think Taylor got hit a lot, and he was hurt a few times in that fight. And,
his last one.
Yeah, and I think if Prograis hits him with those kind of shots, and I've seen how easy Taylor breaks down physically from those shots, Prograis hits a lot harder, and he's a lot more. He's better technically. He's faster. I think Prograis will stop him.
It could be interesting for a little while, though.
I think so. I just think.
And it's not out of the question for Taylor to win that one.
It's not.
But if we got to go with somebody, I'm going to go with Prograis in that one.
Jeff says, do you guys miss Max on the broadcast instead of commentating between fights? Doesn't feel right. I agree. I like Max Kellerman. I like, he really is knowledgeable about the sport. For the time he never put in as a fighter, he knows a lot about the fight game. I respect him. I respect that. But thank you, Esteban Branacek. And I think that he actually made that a rough night for Taylor. And I think Prograis, it leaves a lot open for how good Prograis really is and what he can do.
Goodfella says, James, who is your celebrity crush?
Male or female? Mike says, Mike, your dad said Pizza Pockets.
Yeah. Who?
Your dad said Pizza Pockets. That's what you're on.
Oh, I do.
Aren't we all?
I do see every night.
You know what else we're on to? That BJ's spaghetti and prime rib.
You know what? I backed off the pepperoni pockets, though.
Do you?
Yeah, I haven't. Like once in a great moon, I'll put them.
Dude, you ever go to Costco and get them by the big box? You can get like 24 of them for $10. You know, the big giant ones?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are amazing. He is an awesome rapper. It says Prograis has a lot of flaws in his boxing ability. He can be outboxed if Taylor can withstand the fire. That's the thing, Eddie. Can he, I don't know. I like Taylor. I just think that Taylor has a lot of flaws himself.
Okay, Damon goes right here. 140-pound tournament with Hatton, Pacquiao, Khan, Crawford, Danny Garcia, and Medina.
Crawford.
Who takes the prize?
Crawford. I would take Crawford and Pacquiao to be the final two.
Okay, now is this Pacquiao now or Pacquiao
at 140? 6
years ago.
Yeah, which Pacquiao is it?
So let's take the Pacquiao 6 years ago.
Crawford.
I still may have to go with Crawford at 140.
It'd be Crawford and Pacquiao the final two.
Yeah.
And I would take Crawford.
Well, depending on where they matched up in the bracket.
Oh, either way, they're going to have to fight eventually after they eliminate everybody.
What if they fought the first night?
Them two?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, good point. But then, shit.
Shit. Yeah, I'd have to take the other guys out. I would say Medina. If we're just listing it in order who we think.
I agree with Dana. Dana says Spence versus Porter. Regis, KO, Josh doesn't fight all 3 minutes of a round and doesn't keep his hands up. I agree. That's one of Taylor's biggest things. He doesn't fight for all 3 minutes.
Goodfella says, I'm not answering that one. I'm being nice. Goodfella, Pulp Fiction. Ray Boomer Mancini commentary is terrible.
I can answer it. I'll answer it. I think it's terrible too.
Who wins Pacquiao versus Mayweather now?
Oh,
Pacquiao.
But
give Mayweather a fight.
Give him, yeah. Esteban has a question, Kelly. You can answer it. I can't. I don't know. Is it possible for a pro fighter to wear different brands of gloves each fight, or do contracts usually prevent that?
It depends. If you got a contract for it, or if you're sponsored, or you sign an agreement with a certain company, then you got to wear their gloves. But
You were with Everlast at the end of your career, right?
well, that was more so through
Robert.
and I wasn't going to argue at that point against Aaron Jaco or Scott Sigmund.
It's not like the Reyes was going to change the outcome of that.
Yeah, but now if I would have fought Andre Ward, you better believe that I was going, because it was more, nothing against Everlast, and that's one thing I want to explain in case Ernie or anybody listens.
No, it's just.
It's nothing against Everlast either. It's not. I mean, I wore their trunks, the robes, the shoes. I always had Everlast, and I love their stuff. But with certain fighters, there's a superstitious thing, like it's like I've always, you know what I mean? I can't explain it. I always, like, if I change Reyes now, is it going to do this? I like the way they fit my hands, which is very important.
The way the thumb fit?
Just the way in general. I mean, there was gloves that always fit different than the other make. So that was why I went with Reyes. It wasn't because I didn't like Everlast. Everlast has great gloves. It was just that I was so used to the Reyes after all the years of fighting with them, and that's why I stayed with them.
Let's just be honest, Kelly. The Reyes gloves look fucking awesome. They look amazing, dude.
It's a nice color red, too.
When I was a kid, I would get cheap boxing gloves, and I would draw an oval on mine with a pen. Like, I'd have the cheap Everlast, those ones?
Yeah.
And I would draw an oval with a marker and make the Reyes symbol on my glove. Because I couldn't afford it.
Try to do that, yeah.
Did you do it, too?
It was a fucked up circle, too.
Oh, dude,
it was a messed up oval.
It did look like oval, but I would have that oval with that inside. They look like Reyes gloves.
It looked like somebody took a bite out of a pistachio. Steve Z said,
Half a lemon.
half a lemon. How do you guys think Virgil Ortiz lines up against all 147 pounders?
I think right now, I think somebody's gonna have to move up. Virgil right now is young, and he's a good prospect, and he's actually a good contender now. He's a contender. He's not even in the prospect stage. But right now, we're talking about the welterweight division might be the strongest division in boxing. And right now with Crawford and Spence, and it's pretty well, maybe that third champion there's a spot for the third champion.
He's knocking on that door.
You got Manny there, and then we're going to see with Mikey,
Manny's going to be
Manny and Mikey and all them, and then you're going to see, and Mikey and Virgil are never going to fight. They're teammates, so that'll never happen. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to have Spence move up. Spence is not going to stay at welterweight long, and that's going to give Virgil a chance to move up.
If he does, I wish I would have had his nutritionist. Steve Z says, Kelly, what was your walking around weight for Miranda and after in your career? Just curious. For like the first couple fights after I retired, I was still around 175, 170, and not in shape. I didn't do shit when I retired, to be honest with you, and I ain't going to lie. For the Miranda, I think I walked around like 175.
What was the heaviest you ever walked around?
190.
What fight was that?
I was going into the Martinez fight.
Okay.
So that.
Oh, you were sick and stuff too.
Yeah, but that.
There's a good one here too. Jesse said, "Did you watch the Jaime Munguia fight? What did you think? Notice any improvements from the Hogan fight? Conditioning. That was really all I really noticed from Munguia was he was better conditioned than he has been because he seems to get tired.
You know what? He looked good in that fight though. He did what he was
supposed to do.
And you can't say anything about that.
I just think Hogan was a bad style from him. Hogan was good, man.
You know what I'm saying too, though. But I kind of came down on Munguia a little bit.
Oh, I think he's shit.
And but he looked he kind of he looked better in that fight.
His competition wasn't as good as it was in Hogan's.
Yeah, in the first round he was a little slow. Pittsburgh says, oh wait, let me get the fat lazy. He goes, Montel Griffin said in the interview he sparred 140-pound Floyd and that Roy Jones was way faster.
Oh yeah, no one would even argue that.
You can't. Your OSU trunks were my favorite of all time.
The silver ones?
Yeah. Thanks.
Where are those at? Those are at Ohio State, aren't they? At the university?
Well, that's one pair is there, and the pair that I wore is locked up for me.
Okay. I didn't know if they had the originals or you do.
Tank Davis versus Aaron Pryor. Who wins at 130?
Aaron Pryor, man.
I'm one of them guys that really think that guys today are faster and stronger, but I may unfortunately have to go with Aaron Pryor on that one too, with a little exception. I think Aaron Pryor would have beat him.
Yeah, I think Aaron Pryor was just a
much at 130.
workhorse, man. Work. And I don't think, and the thing is, Tank hasn't really fought anybody yet to warrant that win with Aaron Pryor. You know, you have to show me something first. Aaron Pryor beat the great Alexis Arguello, so it's kind of hard for me to say, oh yeah, Tank hasn't fought anybody, but he's going to come through and just run through Aaron Pryor.
Ricardo says, you guys think Chavez Jr. got a power's chance if he fights Daniel Jacobs? There's talks about that fight.
Everybody has a chance. I mean, let's get him. But I don't know, man. Danny Jacobs is really good. He's really good, and he's always in shape. I don't think so.
I don't think either. I don't think if Canelo and if Triple G didn't knock him out, I don't see Chavez Jr.
They
doing
beat
it.
the shit out of him, though, didn't they? Oh, when Canelo beat the shit out of Chavez Jr., though, didn't he?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, no, if they couldn't knock Danny Jacobs out, and let me tell you, Danny, those are two controversial
They couldn't
fights.
knock out Chavez Jr. either.
Yeah, and I don't see Danny Jacobs knocking out Chavez Jr.
Do you think jumping up? Darren says, win or lose. Do you think jumping down a weight will affect Canelo in future fights, Kelly?
It depends on how bad what happens in the fight.
Yeah.
How bad he loses or how brutal the fight is on him. I mean, if it's a brutal fight, you got to remember he's already had 2 brutal ones with Triple G that could take a lot out of you. If he goes up against Kovalev and just say he wins, but it's a tough, rugged fight, and he took some bombs in it and it was just a go, that may take something out of him. I mean, who knows what he might be like after coming back down.
True.
I mean, eventually that shit will catch up to you.
Dana said they stacked Jaime with faded welterweights. Fighters, he's moving to 160, so you don't have Mondo, Carlos, Adam. Yeah. Jeff said, not sure if you touched base on the Fury fight. We were going to get into that more. What do you make of his dad's comments after the fight saying he needs to ditch his team before they ruin his career? You know, people are coming down on Fury. I don't think Fury looked that bad. He worked through a nasty ass cut that 99% of the fighters would not get through that cut.
Oh.
They would have won that fight stopped.
Dude, you cannot see. In a situation like that, you cannot see. And he's still, I gave the other guy, I was nice. I gave him the second round, which was close. I gave him the first 2 rounds and the last round.
I gave him 4 or 5. I think I gave him 5 rounds.
I didn't.
I think I'm gonna get 5 rounds. Maybe. I gotta look.
Fury was beating the shit out of him from like round 6 to 10.
My thing with
6 to
Fury,
11.
I think Fury was taking a lot of time off too. You see him taking a lot. He took a little breaks too, and it was giving. I think Wallen was more in that fight than I expected him to be. But I think it was an easy fight still. Esteban says, guys, is Virgil here underrated or right where he should be? I think Virgil Hill was very underrated. Virgil Hill was a great fighter.
Yeah, he was.
Fantastic fighter. One of the best body punchers at one time.
Jake says, do you think trainers are overcomplicating the weight cut and fancy dieting? It seemed like Crawford described a laid-back approach to his cutting process on Joe Rogan's podcast.
Because Crawford is disciplined all year round.
And there's a lot of shit that, there is, science comes in and there's a lot of things that helps this day and age. But I think everybody gets a little too fancy with some of the shit that we have not really let run its course and see if it really works over a period of time. Yeah. I think shit that comes in like the keto and the intermittent and all that, we don't know really how that affects certain athletes. Everybody's different.
Personally, to me, Kelly, me and you study a lot on nutrition.
Yeah.
I don't think the keto is very efficient for athletes.
I don't think it's sufficient for. I mean, I'd see more people sick.
It works though for people
in the hospital on a keto diet than I have really losing.
Justin
weight.
is going to come over here and kill us. He's going to come over and kill us for talking about keto. He loves it.
Well, some people it does. Roy, it works for Roy.
Does it? Roy runs around here like Jesse from Family Guy.
Roy did have a stroke too.
I know, but he does run around like Jesse, like the
right around the same time that he was on the keto diet. I'm not lying. I'm being serious. I love him.
And now he runs around here like Jesse from Family Guy. That dog, his legs are dragging.
Years ago, and it was about dieting according to your blood type. It worked out. And the keto diet kind of aligned.
No, they do.
Positive.
I did read that. I read the keto diet affects people through, depends on their DNA and their genetics.
Well, and then when they come off the keto diet, a lot of people come off of it and are like, I'm fucking done.
And they blow weight.
And they go in and they do everything you're not supposed to do. They eat the shitload of carbs. You're supposed to like ease back into carbs and this. But we all know this since the beginning of time, right? We know too much fat ain't good for you. We know too much sugar ain't good for you.
Too much carb.
Like if you could, and I'm not, and I am talking out my ass right now because I have a hard time since retirement following this. Okay, I know that sugar ain't good for you, and I know fats ain't good for you.
We're all having trouble following that.
And I'll do good for like 3 days, and I'm just like,
are we going to BJ's tonight?
Yeah,
Thank God.
And
you can have my Pajuki.
So it is. I mean, it's tough. But everybody should know the weights. I think some trainers are getting a little crazy with the shit.
Dana said Wilder runs through Fury like a hot knife of butter. I don't know about that, but I think Wilder would beat Fury. I think Wilder. The only thing about Wilder is I don't think Wilder has that punch, that right hand, and it's really hard to go against a guy that can punch like that.
Thanks, Caitlin.
Caitlin's laughing, but
She says it's the only reason why she still has Instagram. It's for the show.
no, it's not. So she can send ass pictures to bums.
Oh, James, did you ever knock anyone down in the amateurs?
Oh yeah, I've been knocked down a lot too. Yeah, I've knocked people down. I can. You know what? I can punch. I can punch a little bit.
Damon says, is Zurdo Ramirez still a player at 168?
I think so, but I've never been impressed with Zurdo.
Yeah, I think, if Benavidez, what titles has Benavidez got right
The
now?
WBO.
Which, well, they're all open because
The WBO
don't
exist.
count no more.
What's your Dana says? What's your opinion on the fighters in the snack program? Hard to KO. You know what? I don't know a lot about the snack program, but I know some of the fighters that are in it,
And you know who owns that.
and we know who owns it. So it's always going to be up in the air.
Hey, I think that guy's good at what he does, though.
He
Somebody
does.
likes to sneak a little Russian vitamin in there.
But a lot of people's been running that stuff. Snacks, they've been running snack for years and never tested positive. So
Yeah.
I can't accuse somebody if they're not tested positive.
Goodfella says, Rigo versus Barrera. Who wins? I'm going to go probably different than you.
I'm going to say Barrera.
I'm going to say Rigo.
Really?
Barrera was good, but Rigo was different. I mean, because he got...
My thing is, I don't know, Kelly. Why?
I got to go
Why?
Rigo.
Why?
Because of the way he is stable to box.
Okay. But what happens when Barrera snatches your heart? Because that's what he does. He
But-
snatches
but
people's
Donaire-
heart.
But
man.
Donaire was a good... I mean, we were saying because he got beat up by Rigo. We all know that Nonito Donaire could fight his ass off.
But he
even
wasn't.
from
He
the
didn't fight
amateur.
like. But he didn't fight like Barrera. Barrera would throw 200 punches around.
I know, but
And
but
hard
different
shots.
styles. He wouldn't land like he did against.
He doesn't
Preston
have
Steen.
to. He only has to land half of that or 30% of that.
Hey
Still,
man, listen.
I don't know,
You
man.
got your pick. Why? I'm not sitting there fucking hopping on you about it. I'm not
I'm
going.
just saying-
How the fuck, but Barrera?
No, what
he
I'm saying
got,
is
he got
this.
dropped by Eric Morales.
But whoever knocked him out,
I'm not saying that Rigo would knock him out. He boxes his ears sideways.
like Nassim Hamed did.
Well, there's two
Barrera
different
whooped his
fights,
fucking
though.
ass, dude.
But Barrera also
But he
got
could- he punched
beat
hard.
up by Pac.
But he punched. Oh,
That's
but Barrera was
southpaw.
at the end of his career. He punched harder. Nassim Hamed punched harder than
I'm just
Rigo.
saying. You
No.
come sideways.
No, Nassim Hamed punched harder than Rigo, didn't he?
It's my pick.
I don't know.
My pick. Winky Wright versus Lara. Who wins? Ooh.
She said, "James, you be lying." Like sending her butt pictures on Snappy Chatty.
Did you hear that one? Winky Wright versus Lara. Who wins?
Winky Wright versus Lara? I'll go with Winky.
I have to probably go with Winky.
Jude said, "James, you told me."
big.
Jude said, "James, you told me a bit this morning, but was there any amateur fighter that you fought that you knew would be a world champ and did become world champ?" Oh shit, there was a couple of them.
Blah blah. Got to go one. Kelly, did you fit in any sort of weight training? Like, do you know when you were boxing? Absolutely, I
He
did.
did, Rocky.
Not like heavyweights. I put it this way: on my weight day,
Yeah.
lifting weight day, it was really light weights, shitload of reps. I mean, I'm talking about between 500 to 600 reps of body part, very lightweight. Then I would go to Ironman for like the functional strength training, like pull-ups on fire hoses, a lot of just like body, but doing crawls and shit like that, sledgehammers, tire flip.
So Jude asked me this: was there anybody I fought that I would knew be a world champion? I fought David Diaz, and I knew he'd be a world champion. I fought Panchito Bojado. I knew he'd be a world champion. Fuck, man. Dante Craig. I knew he'd be a world champion. Tony
Dante a
Hanshaw.
world champion?
Dante. He won some titles, but I thought he'd be a world champion. That's what I'm asking. But fuck, man. I don't know. Fuck. Who else? James Kirkland, I fought, and I knew he'd be a world champion. There were just guys that were so good. You know what? The problem is, like, when we fought in the 90s and Kelly fought in the 90s and early 2000s, like 90s, that was like the heyday for USA boxing. Everybody in there was good. Every weight class had monsters.
Oh, shit.
You know, it wasn't like one monster in one weight class. The whole top 10 could put your lights out.
Yeah. I got to get, Justin, I'm going to have to send you something. Damon goes, does anyone care Kell Brook is planning a ring return end of the year? Really.
Well, not really. His eyes look like lottery balls.
Terminator 4.
Lottery balls. I'm waiting for that. Hey,
Hey, Kell Brook is starring.
do you know what he should have? You know when Kell Brook comes out, you know what song they should have? You Could Be Mine from Guns N' Roses? Remember the Terminator song?
Mm-hmm.
His eyes look like Johnny Fives.
Oh, finishing it. Justin, I'm gonna send you something. Can you put it up? Take maybe one thing down in the corner.
Hey, if Joshua loses to Ruiz and his career is over, or Ruiz is just not a good matchup for him, I don't know if Joshua's career is over because those English people, those British and UK love their fighters. They don't give a fuck. But
I'm gonna send it to you.
I'm gonna go out on a limb though and say Joshua beats Ruiz on the rematch. I think Joshua's gonna beat Ruiz.
I think in that fight, if Joshua changes the strength and conditioning coach,
Yes.
I think he stands a really good chance if he gets rid of some of that muscle. I think if he stays the same size, I can see the same exact thing happening.
Well,
again.
the thing is this, man. Ruiz isn't doing shit right now. You know what I mean?
He's living it up.
He's living it up. And Joshua, I guarantee, is training. That's my thing. Ruiz right now has become
I'm sure Ruiz will put it in.
time's running out. Tick tock, tick tock. When you're 280 pounds, it's tick tock, tick tock.
TikTok, you don't stop.
Yeah, shit. But I think right now he's living it up. He's made some money. Big, great, fucking awesome. You know what I mean? But let's focus on the job at hand. It's Joshua, and right now I know people are gonna get mad. But like I said, just because he's Mexican, I don't give a fuck about that. I'm telling you, I think Joshua's going to win the fight.
Yeah. Fat Lazy Cat Farrell has a good one. Goes 2 wins at 160. Prime Sergio versus Prime Bernard. I got to go with Prime Bernard. He was just too big, and I think, with the styles. But it would have been a hell of a fight.
I swear I already answered that. Stephen Kennedy said, how do you think he would fare against Ruiz? About Fury? I think Fury beats Ruiz. I think he's too big, man. That's a big guy. Fury's a 6'9" guy. Ruiz might be 6 foot.
Big, yeah,
just too big and too physical.
I think Ruiz is closer to 6'2".
You think so?
Here's one. Jake Miller. Tony Hinchcliffe versus Logan Paul.
Tony Hinchcliffe whips his fucking ass.
Tony Hinchcliffe all day.
Tony Hinchcliffe all day.
It's not even fucking close.
Let me tell you what. Tony is a real student of the game. He really is. He knows boxing. Who asked that?
I gotta send it to Tony.
Who asked that?
Jake Miller.
How the fuck? Tony Hinchcliffe is a student of boxing. That's our homie.
Tony Hinchcliffe once shot a Cyclops between the eyes.
True. I remember that.
He can believe his butter.
Yep.
Fuck around with Tony Hinchcliffe.
Fucking Tony Hinchcliffe, man. Tony Hinchcliffe doesn't do push-ups. He does earth pull downs, right?
Don't even say his name 3 times. I'm afraid. Don't say it 3 times.
Are they ever going to announce this Wilder Ortiz rematch? I don't know, Darren. Nigel Benn is coming back. I heard that. Stephen Parker. Yeah, I heard that. I don't know why, but
remember 753. I'll send that to him. Justin.
Did you hear from Tony a lot still? Does he text?
I got to text him though.
Yeah.
Goodfellas says, how does Canelo beat a prime Roy Jones Jr.?
By praying to Jesus.
By not going to the
By
fight.
not going to the fight. By calling in sick that night. Canelo not going to be a prime Roy Jones.
By squeezing eye drop liquid into his drink.
By testing positive for every steroid on the planet prior to the fight.
Put some fucking X-Lac and Visine in his water bottle in the corner. Get past the second round.
I don't see a way that Canelo could beat a prime Roy Jones. I don't see anybody really beat a prime Roy Jones that easy.
All right, blah blah says, how good do you think Edwin Valera could have been? I saw a video of him putting it on Morales around the time he beat Pacquiao.
I trained with Valero. I didn't train with him. I trained in the same gym as Edwin Valero, and I know how good he was. I don't know.
I don't know. Nobody will ever know, though. We could say.
I've seen what he did in the gym to other people, to big time contenders. He was hurting them.
Yeah.
Like when he hurt Urbano Antion, that dude was a world champ. He hit Antion and tore both ACLs, and that is on YouTube, guys. If you go to that video, look up Edwin Valero versus Urbano Antion sparring, and you'll see Edwin or Antion threw a right hand. Valero slipped it and threw his own right. And when he did it, you could see both of Antion's knees just come out from under him. Remember that?
Yeah. Darnell Boone joined the Instagram. What's up, Darnell? He says, I feel Joshua going to try to prove it was a fluke.
I think so too.
And get caught again. And he thinks he'll get caught again. I agree. I just think the biggest thing that comes into play with Joshua Tudo Darnell is he's too big for his own good. I mean, listen, I understand that he's got a lot of money out there modeling and everything else, and it's something money away from boxing. But that's hurting him. When you're that big, it takes more oxygen. We've seen it over and over, him fade quickly. Almost happened against Klitschko. He just gets too tired. It takes too much oxygen to fuel the muscles. Sure. And then it also takes the oxygen away from the lungs. Sure. And it just leaves you shot.
You need a lot more auction to feel those big muscles.
If if Joshua got a new strength and conditioning coach, I would have to go with him. I think because that one round or two,
He hurt him.
that he could go farther and a couple more punches he could throw is the difference in the fight.
I'm going to take Joshua against Ruiz in a rematch. Jude says, okay, I'm not talking smack, but Ruiz be more chubby. If he trains harder for this rematch and loses a lot of his carnitas, will that be worse for him being lighter? I don't think so. I think it would help him, but it depends how light we're going. You know, there's kind of a cutoff. But right now, we know Ruiz has a great skill, and good fast hand. But I also know that Ruiz's chin is not the greatest either. He has been caught. Joshua hurt him.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Joshua stops him this time. And it sets up that third fight. It'll set up that big third fight with big money.
Fucking Jake Miller says, I expected that answer. Exisco says, is Canelo the slickest Mexican ever? Finito is second place.
I would say Finito or either Marquez.
Yeah, well, how about our other boy? Wait, what nationality was Orlando Canelo?
He's Mexican, but he's Mexican American now.
He was slick.
But he's Mexican American. He's born in Texas.
Canelo's pretty much
Canelo might be it,
Mexican.
But he's from Mexico.
Mexican American, huh?
Because if not, we would say Oscar and everybody else too. You know, if you want to include everybody.
Not fair. How are we supposed to know?
Simon
I
says,
believe if you're born in Texas and you're Mexican, you're pretty much Mexican.
that's very racist.
No, it's not.
It is. That's very racist.
It's not. How the fuck?
Would you say that was racist?
You just pissed off Mexicans and a bunch of white people.
See, I got pissed off. White
Kelly's
people.
getting a letter from Texas. You are not welcome in the state, y'all.
I'm done.
Simon's, well, so much for that new contract. Why do we only have one watcher right now? The whole show took off.
No, I mean, shut up.
Everybody in Texas are real Mexicans from Mexico. Dude, you know what? The Alamo just closed up tonight for that. Alamo just closed down for business. The flag is, what is that? Instead of tears over Texas right now?
Don't you think there's a difference between?
Look at, oh Lord. Oh Lord.
There ain't no difference between a Mexican from Ohio and one from Texas?
No. Except better food in Texas.
There you go, because it's more homemade.
Get a roll. I don't even know what to say right now.
Roll that beautiful bean.
That was a white guy.
I knew that.
He's a white guy from Texas, so he's Mexican.
You guys, you set me up.
Simon said Valero bounced around. It seems they had to let him up so Urbano finished the round. Yeah, but his ACLs were jacked up, Simon. Simon says this reminds me of too much of Lennox Lewis and Hashi Rockman. I think it's a tough task for Ruiz to do it again. Plus he's been out enjoying his fame, and that's what I said too, Simon. He's really out enjoying, having a good time.
Yeah, but I mean, you could cut that off. Really can.
But
I don't think he's going to be doing it.
you can cut it, but where do you cut it off at? 260, 280, 320? Where do you cut that off? You know what I mean?
Well, how much longer has he got what is that rematch?
I thought it was a few months from now.
Yeah, so
Dude,
I mean, your camp is 2 months.
If he's hanging out at 285 right now, you don't got a lot of time. Because he's going to spend all this time cutting weight and not training.
Oh, he's a heavyweight.
Oh, but you still want to be reasonable. You don't want him coming looking like Slimer from the Ghostbusters.
Maybe you know what? Maybe he wants to be done. He figures, all right, I got a couple dollars left from this first big fight.
Your next challenge is going to be hit.
Well, I got another $9 million coming. I'm good.
That's true. It's all fun and games until Ruiz calls Kelly out for saying that all Mexicans are from Texas.
Ruiz is from Texas.
He's from California. He's from California. He's Mexican.
No, I did not. I did not say that.
Davy Crockett, Daniel Boone, and Jim Bowie just rolled over in their graves.
Goodfellas said, I did not say it that way. That's not the way I meant to come out. I said the Mexicans in Texas.
Are real Mexicans.
They are.
We don't know what to say.
Some of them are.
I would like to express those opinions on the punchline are not the opinions of punchline. The opinions of Kelly Pavlik are not the opinions of punchline.
Right. I'm not going to get into it.
It's funny.
We're fortunate though because Texans and Mexicans have good senses of humor.
They do. They do.
They are neighbors.
They are very close neighbors. Goodfellas Pulp Fiction says,
Beto,
Instagram
they
is
said
done.
Beto was coming for Kelly. I told you.
James, would you fight Sugar Ray Leonard in an exhibition right now for $100 million?
Yeah, I'd fight him and his mom.
Yeah, why? Who wouldn't
Fuck
fight
yeah.
Sugar Ray Leonard right
Who
now?
asked that?
Goodfellas.
I'd fucking fight anybody for $100 million.
Emilio X, what's up, guys? Want to ask who you think was the best southpaw? Who was the best southpaw punchers?
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Manny Pacquiao?
Spence,
Yeah.
Zab,
You don't believe the shit he said, Ricky.
Zab. No, I'm not. That's how it gets turned.
Hey, Ricky. Kelly just ruined this whole show in 1 minute.
No, I did not say everybody from Texas was Mexican. I said Mexicans from Texas are like Mexicans from Mexico. I mean, you got a lot that are that.
And then you said,
Are there?
yeah, they're from Texas. They're Mexican.
I did not say that.
Well, they're all Italian.
Hey, rewind it.
Well, that's not how I meant it. Because as soon as it came out of my mouth, you guys jumped on me like fucking
No, we did. We laughed.
dictards.
We laughed at you.
That's not what I meant. I said, I go, if you're from Texas, if you're a Mexican from Texas, you're Mexican. No, I don't really consider
You're a
Mexican.
Texican.
Just make
Mexican.
good footage, man. It's all good.
You know what? Gina right now just unsubscribed to the show.
I'm trying to explain it what I meant to say.
Why did Orlando Canizales say he hates you? And Gina just said she's not watching the show no more.
They did not.
Gina Davis just said she's not.
Where's she at?
She left. She said she's done with this whole show.
I call bullshit.
She said we'll never get we'll never get a press kit and we'll never get a credential anywhere in Dallas Stadium ever again.
Oh, here, hold on. Now, let's get back to
Scott said freaking Texicans.
Tex-Mex. That's what I
Jesse
had
said you're never gonna live that one down, Kelly.
Oh, Jesse. See what I'm saying? Y'all not even giving me a chance to explain.
We know.
My own fucking co-host and producer ain't giving me a chance to fucking explain.
The views
done.
expressed by Kelly Pavlik are not the views expressed
I'm
by
done.
the punchline.
It's pointless. It's over with. I'm getting ready to shut shop down anyways. Damn it. Listen, there were some good ones in here.
Would you say Michael Moore was a strong southpaw? Oh, hell yeah, he was a strong southpaw. At light heavyweight, that dude was a monster.
Yeah, he was.
Oh my God, he was a monster.
Porter is going to have to come forward against Spence. All right, where was that at? How much money would it take realistically to fight Deontay Wilder right now, James?
For me?
Yeah.
Who's asking this shit?
Enough to cover your fucking funeral.
I'm 5'9" on a fucking good day, man. Maybe I'll claim 5'10" if women are around, but come on, bro.
All right, well, here's when it's going to cost some shit right here. However you say his name.
I'd fight him for $1 million.
Isco says, is Triple G the most overrated middleweight since Hagler?
He's not overrated. Triple G's not overrated.
But you see who they said since?
Since Hagler? Who said that?
Pittsburgh. Hold him.
I don't think Hagler's overrated either. I don't think he's overrated. I just don't think he's
As good
as what they say. I think there's middleweights today that would have fucked him up.
I agree.
But I don't think Triple G is overrated. I think Triple G's proved to us that he's right where he needs to be.
Yeah.
But Hagler, I think he was a great middleweight, but
He was great for his era. I guess the best way to say that.
he was great for his era.
Obviously, he was great for his era. But I'm sorry, because I was a middleweight too. To put him up there against some of the guys that he beat. Who was that?
Salma Hayek just called and stated that Kelly can't use her an example of a hot chick anymore.
Yes, I can.
He said, nope, you're done.
Selma Hayek, she could be 65.
You know, I met her one time. She came to Kosovo and for the troops, and I translated for her. Also, I met Winnie Cooper. She came on the same USO tour. Winnie Cooper and her, they were like the two hottest women I've ever seen, and they both smelled like brown sugar.
Family Matters?
Wonder Years. Winnie Cooper.
That's what I mean. Oh, yeah. Wonder Years.
Family Matters. Urkel didn't come. Urkel did not show up.
He smelled like sugar.
He did. Hello, my sweet. What? I thought you said Winnie's too. Sure, why not?
Does she look good? Does Winnie look good as she got older?
Yeah, man. And she wrote a math book. She's like a genius. She wrote like new math, like chaos math. Look it up. No, she did some sort of chaos math that's universally used. She went to Stanford. I'm telling you, man. That's Salma Hayek. Salma. People call Salma Salma. Dude, when she had that snake.
Yeah.
But she turned ugly really fast. It kind of went backwards. I was in the middle of yanking the crank, and she turned into that vampire and ruined my life. Yeah. No, from Dust to Dawn, I was yanking my crank when it first came out, and then she turned into that fucking vampire and ruined my whole night. But I finished anyway.
Yeah. Well, guys, we got to shut down shop. X goes, Hagler is not overrated.
Jude said you translate for Sama. What language? Spanish. Because we had
Hebrew.
soldiers in Kosovo that were from Spain, and she was speaking English.
But GG is held above the middleweights in the 90s. Pavlik, Sergio, Triple G's. G's resumed does not stand up to the best middles.
What?
Yeah, he's beat.
He fought everybody he's supposed to beat.
Yeah.
You know, we can't compare resumes because they had no chance to fight those certain people. But his resume does stand up because he's beat everybody that was available
At his weight.
at his weight. If we're gonna say that, look, if we're gonna bring up resumes, let's do this. Name. Here's what I want.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about this real quick. If we're gonna bring up resume, let's be honest. Name more than 2 middleweights that Hagler fought that were real middleweights, that weren't junior middleweights or welterweights or lightweights moving up.
You opening up a can of worms.
Let's be honest.
I am, but
The Fab Four, Hearns, Duran, Leonard, even St. Benitez. Were any of them natural Were any of them natural middleweights? Duran was a lightweight,
can't tell
welterweight.
that, though.
No, but then they want to talk about resumes, and then they say, "Well, he beat Iran Barkley."
you'll get Jeff
junior middleweight.
Londash on here fucking really screaming.
Jeff's 90. What the fuck's he gonna do?
Oh, Justin. He's talking about our buddy.
I'm just saying. But they want to talk about resumes, and Hagler was a great fighter. But let's be honest now. Let's be fair. How many true middleweights did he fight?
That's true. I know. I agree.
Oh.
I know.
My bad. He fought Caveman Lee. I'm sorry, guys. He fought Caveman Lee.
All right. I want to give a shout out to a buddy of ours that we knew from back in the amateurs, Marshall Martinez.
Oh, Marshall, yes.
Yes. He's got a book out, and I think, you guys should read this. It's a little deep. Marshall's been through some shit.
Great amateur. Fucking fantastic amateur.
Phenomenal fighter, and he got a book out called Punching Through Life. I'm sure there's a lot of inspirational stuff in there, and I'm sure there's a lot of things, do's and don'ts and whatnot. But everybody check that out. It's up on the green screen right now. And give it a read. All you boxing fans, I'm sure a lot of you guys that follow the show that fought in the amateurs with us and in the 90s and early 2000s know of Marshall Martinez. So
he won like 7 national titles, and he was part of the Marquette, the USOEC team, who's probably pound for pound one of the best teams ever assembled in amateur boxing.
yeah, so check that out, guys. And we're going to wrap it up.
Mugabe was a junior middleweight too. Thank you. He said he fought Mugabe. Yeah, a junior
Boxing,
middleweight.
we'll get back to it. We're going to answer that one later. Was Carlos Monzon the most overrated middleweight since Sugar Ray Robinson?
Monzon could fight.
Yeah. Tune in next week to the Punchline. Remember, go to the YouTube,
Subscribe
share,
and like it, and hit that little bell
and ring
thingy.
that bell.
Yep, and we'll see you next week. Thank you for watching, and we'll have some more bullshit. And
sure.
next week we're gonna say everybody in California are really from China.
They are. Chinakins.
Chinese. Everybody in Youngstown are Polish,
Slovak.
Slovaks,
Southside.
and Italians.
This is true. Bye.